All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Rival and Queen podcast. So happy to be here with you this Thursday. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Ashley.
And Ashley is just finishing a cookie that I brought her back fresh from Toronto yesterday.
It's been melting here in the sun. It's delicious.
It's from Le Gourmand or La Gourmand. I don't know. How was it?
I like it.
They've won Best Cookie in Toronto, I think, multiple times. And that was like through social media. All of our lovely listeners and followers on Instagram, this was the spot.
No, I think the chocolate is very good. There's
Very,
a lot
like,
of chocolate. It is a richer cookie, and it was a big cookie. I did give some to Mark.
The bag is so messy if you're watching. Like, we're honestly, whatever. We're starting our morning with cookies, and we're here for it.
I know I had a very healthy breakfast today. I had
Tell
this
me.
gluten-free. At the market, you can get this, they call it fitness bread from the German baker, or keto bread they have, but it's so good. It just has 3 or 4 ingredients, and I put avocado on there and tomato. Now I'm eating a cookie.
Now you're eating a cookie.
That's Thursday, baby.
That is Thursday. We started recording in the mornings. I really like it. I will also tell you, this morning I got changed twice, top entirely off on the boardwalk.
What?
Twice.
With your I'm trying to get your little
My co-host, Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daisy was with me. I did a photo shoot this morning, which was hilarious. I loved it. But they were like, oh, can you change your shirt? So I literally was just standing on the boardwalk right in front of the new Kennard building. There's like a team of construction workers, and I just took my top off, put a new one on.
They see that.
And the Amira building, just helping everyone in there feel excited, have a bit of excitement in their day.
Wake up, Thursday. Sarah's titties are ready to go.
We got to bring the fun.
We've got a guest today.
We have a guest who we love, Bangs.
So good.
She brought so much fun and energy. We had lovely conversations, confidence, motivation, beauty standards, rants,
Botox,
London.
I
know. I love her accent.
The ocean. Why am I repeating everything you're saying?
I didn't say the ocean. I like it.
Oh, okay.
I like the back and forth repeating. Oh,
the beginning, I just really wanted to dive in because I was like genuinely curious. We didn't know a lot about Bangs. We see her. I go to her classes at Rival, but we didn't know like how'd she get here?
No, and she has such a great energy if you follow her social media, that we just wanted to know more and get to spend time with her, and I really enjoyed it. She's got such great style, and it's just like I love it. I want to look
as cool as Bangs.
I want to look as cool as Bangs, 100%. Like, she ups the cool factor, and I think we can all it's a great reminder to like bring a little sense of style.
And also because she's in her 40s, which she shares with us, which I don't know. I would have said she could be 32. Like, I don't know how old people are sometimes, but she looks fabulous. And I agree with rocking the style and dressing how you want and not falling into like because you're of a certain age. I think about this all the time, which we talked about.
With Vicky Mina when she turned 50 too. Oh.
Daisy keeps licking my legs.
Daisy's giving us some kisses.
But no, I think about that. I don't care so much about age sometimes, but at the same time I do. And part of it is because I think like, can I not wear this skirt anymore or this top? Like, these things come into my mind.
Imagine
but then I still wear them.
Not wearing a mini skirt, I would die.
But I still wear them. Let's just be clear. But I think that
You think that am I too? Well, I haven't thought that yet, but I do.
It's like, what does that mean? I don't know.
I think wear the mini skirt at any age. Wear the crop top at any age. Wear the tank top.
And also whatever size you are.
Age,
you know what I mean?
size.
Yeah, wear and do what makes you feel like yourself.
I love it. I actually do wish that.
If you want to take your shirt off on the boardwalk, by all means.
Sign me up, baby.
Sorry.
You'll catch me taking my clothes off everywhere this summer. No, they put blush on my nose to make me look sunburned. I think it's the funniest thing in the world.
Someone told me, Lindsay actually told me, I feel like I look tanned. And she said yesterday at Pilates, I
think you do look tan.
I was out in the sun a lot, and we just got morning sun on us.
We're not going to talk about the bachelorette party I was on this episode. We're going to save that for next one. But I do want to tell you one quick little tidbit of how I got the cookie. No, there were no strippers. Okay.
Go on.
There were some strippers, but they were accidental in some way.
Wow. Okay. Stay tuned for next week.
How I ended up bringing you this cookie and how we got here this morning is that on a Saturday, we were at Terrasse Beausecour in the Old Port in Montreal, day drinking. Well, I wasn't drinking. I had three glasses of wine the entire weekend. But and we met this group of bachelors, and we were talking to this group, and one of them's like, oh, I live in Toronto. And I told them I was going there Tuesday for the day. And sure enough, Sunday afternoon, I get a text saying, hey, if you're in Toronto tomorrow, do you want to go grab a cookie while you're in town?
Did you?
Yes.
You had this is a cookie
That's
date?
where the cookie came from.
But it's a cookie date cookie?
I don't think it's a date, but it was like, I was like, sure, if you want to go get a cookie while I'm in town.
Is there potential with this cookie person?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so it was just like a good old-fashioned cookie combo.
You know me, like I'm up for an adventure. It's like you meet strangers and then they follow up and they're like, oh, will you come meet up? And like I almost just can't say no to that because you never know where that's going to take you.
Are they passionate about cookies too?
No, I think they thought it was funnier that I knew about this cookie place.
Okay.
And
I like this.
And they worked next to it. So that's how it happened. But I thought that was a funny tidbit for you.
Thank you.
Non-romantic, so unfortunately.
No, we like that.
But cookie-driven. Let's dive in. Let's just go straight to Bangs.
Let's just hear all the goodness that Bangs has to offer.
Connect with Bangs online at Bangs in a Bun on Instagram. She's got a newsletter if you are over 35 that you can sign up for. Yes, and I'm going to beg for early access. And if you want to ride with her, she teaches at our studios, so you can...
Multiple times a week.
Multiple times. You can hop on over there and join her at Rival.
All right, let's dive in. Okay, we are so excited. We are recording with the fabulous Bangs today, who a lot of you may know from our studios as the creative director. So welcome.
Hi.
We're so happy to have you here. We love following
So
your
happy.
social media. And so it's just like, and we love your energy online. And
Your
then we're like-
outfits.
Oh, thanks.
I know
Wow.
I was actually going to a photo shoot this morning and I saw Bangs walking like ahead of me down the boardwalk. And I was stressed because none of my shirts were like full length shirts. All I have are like crop tops. And I was like, this is not appropriate for this photo shoot. And then I saw you rocking the crop top. I was like, she looks great. This is in. I'm wearing my
live
crop
a
top.
solid crop top life. That's my zone. Yeah.
I love it. I was like, she looks fabulous. This is what I want on a photo shoot.
Thank you.
That's what I thought. You like were inspiring me on my way.
We always talk about that because we feel programmed, even though we kind of work for ourselves, that we have to dress a certain way. I don't know. It's this whole thing. We just want to wear ripped jeans and sneakers and crop tops.
I mean, I spend my life in spandex pretty much. So when I have to go to something that's like not in a fitness studio, I'm like, what do I do here? I have limited wardrobe choices for that, you know?
And actually on this note, I was in Toronto yesterday and it was beautiful and sunny there, like 25 degrees. And so all of my meetings, we had them outside, but one of the girls I met with had a tank top on and that made me very happy. And not like a professional tank top, like even this, not that this is a professional tank top.
I did have a blazer
You have
on.
a thick strap tank top,
It's hot.
like a little tank top. And I was like, this is great. I love meetings with women. Now I can wear tank tops everywhere. Every time I see someone do something, I'm like, yep, this is my approval to wear that kind of shirt at my next meeting.
Well, I also feel like, you know, the lines of professionalism in terms of attire are kind of becoming a little bit more blurred and perhaps a bit more casual.
Yeah.
But I say that as someone who works in like the industry that I work in. I imagine like if I rocked up the way I dress as a lawyer, they'd be like, girl, go home, you know?
Yeah.
So my context is all skewed, but I like to think that things are becoming slightly more relaxed. But I just also know that I could never work in a job that required me to be super dressy all the time. It's never going to work out for me.
I know, but I want you to be able to show up as a lawyer and you're like
In a
very
crop
cool.
top.
You
crop
want her to
tops.
be your lawyer.
I want you to be my lawyer. I'm looking at you. I'm like, damn, she looks good. She knows what's going on. She's got a style. She's got the glasses. Like, I'm like, and like, I'm
She
like,
knows what
show
she's
up.
doing.
You look fierce. Like, that's the vibe. And I'm like,
Also, I've watched enough Law and Order to feel as though I could defend you against.
do you know what? If
any crime.
anything
probably
happens,
could.
I'm going to call you.
Thank you so much.
Instead of an actual lawyer.
Yeah.
So then we'll start recording the podcast in jail, evidently. But like,
This will be great.
Wow, your faith in me dipped really quickly. All of a sudden you're in jail. You didn't even give me a chance to defend you.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, I believe in you, Banks.
Okay, so we need to know before we dive into a few discussions, because we were just chatting beforehand, but we see you around, we see you at the gym on social media, but tell us a little bit more about how you ended up in Nova Scotia.
Because you don't sound like you're from Nova Scotia.
What gave me away?
No.
So, convoluted story that I'll try and give you the abridged version of. My dad's Canadian. He's from here in Halifax, well, out kind of past Truro way. And my mum's Irish, and they met here in the 70s when my mum was just over here being a hippie. And they got married after like 6 weeks, and somehow are still married after 45 years.
Wow.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
It really,
That
truly
is
is.
amazing.
And they had my brother and I. And we moved to England for some random reason. I think the idea was my mum's mum was the elder of the grandparents at the time, and so we wanted to be closer to her, and she was still in Dublin. So we tried to move to Dublin, and I think my dad couldn't find work there, but he found some in England, so we just ended up there. We had dual citizenship, so we'd come back and forth a little bit on vacations, and I came out here for extended periods of time at certain points in my life. And a few years ago, mainly after the Brexit vote, to be honest with you, we were kind of like, it's time to leave this fiery hell pit of an island.
Okay.
Yeah, things went south really quickly after the Brexit vote in the UK. And I was very much like, I don't want to be here anymore, and I would like a change. And I'm very lucky to have dual citizenship. And around about that time, my parents said that they wanted to retire back here. And I was like, this seems like a good opportunity for all of us to move. So I moved out here in May 2020. Did not anticipate doing that in the middle of a pandemic, obviously.
Yeah.
And then my parents moved out here 6 months later, and here we are, living life.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. I was just saying, I've been here 2 years, but I feel like the first year didn't count.
Yeah.
You know, so because it was just, everything was locked down, and I was just finding my feet and finding my way. And I feel like my life here really just started from like September, October last year, you know, like where I kind of found my feet, and I'm like getting out and trying to do things and really explore the city now. So yes, I now am enjoying it.
No, I think that's fair. It'd be hard to move when you were like stuck inside, but like it almost was just like everyone's on their getting alone time for a year.
Yeah, right.
So whether you were here or London, it would have been
Exactly.
Yeah.
Similar. Yeah.
But I'm so glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Where have you found that are like your little like spots that you enjoy in the city?
Well, having lived in London for so many years, I still cannot believe that I can walk 10 minutes and be by the ocean. That blows my mind. Hence why you will see me walking along the waterfront all the time. And the thought process as you see me is literally just, wow. Like, that's what I'm saying in my head all the time. It's mind blowing to me that I can do that. So I love that. I love Point Pleasant. I have a dog, so I'm just, big into walking my dog for hours on end because he's a Boston Terrier with endless energy, so he requires a lot of walking. So yeah, and then I feel like I only really just recently started going out to restaurants, so I'm kind of like just finding my way, just eating my way around the city now.
Love that.
Yeah. There's lots of good places to eat.
You have to hit up Field Guide if you haven't been already.
Haven't been, but it's on my list.
Yeah. So good.
You will love.
So good. So how did you find our studios? Tell us kind of that transition of like your spin life in London to Halifax.
So I worked for a studio called Boom Cycle in London, and was with them kind of from quite near the beginning of them. And I was with them for about 6.5 years, and right up until I left. And probably about a year before I moved here, I started following kind of people, places, and things here in Halifax on Instagram to just get a bit of a sense of the city and who are the creatives, who are the movers and shakers, what's really happening here. And that was really helpful actually for me to just kind of every day be able to look at my phone and kind of get into the mindset of being here. And so I followed our studios during that time, and I followed Connie, and I don't think we'd had any interactions or anything up to that point, but I was obviously just kind of trying to scope out places of like, where could I potentially work. But obviously our studios didn't have a spin studio at the time, and that's really all I know how to do. So I was like, okay, it looks like a cool place though. I'll probably go there and work out. And I can't remember when it was that one day Connie posted a post on Instagram saying, I'm opening the next studio and it's a spin studio. And I literally DM'd her immediately and said, what's your email? I need to drop you a line. She gave me her email. And I messaged her and said, basically, hi, I'm Bangs. You don't want to open this spin studio without me. Here's who I am and what I do. I have a proven track record. I've made a lot of money for a spin studio in London. If you would like to make a lot of money, I can do that for you. Hire me. And I met her the next day. And by the end of that week, I was training the instructor team.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's how that worked out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I feel it was all very timely, and I feel really lucky. I think Connie and I are quite kindred spirits in a way. We're both very kind of ambitious, driven women who are really passionate about what we do. And so I've found a great partner in crime in that sense.
Totally.
And yeah, I'm loving it. I've really kind of landed on my feet there and found a place that I feel very at home in, that I have a real synergy with. And I'm really enjoying working there and kind of getting to know the community that comes there. It's great.
Oh.
One of my favorite things about that community too is I feel like it gives you so much room for self-expression too. And I think that kind of allows you to do your own thing and grow in your own way while you're still within.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the really refreshing things. And that's also something that I really try to do at Boom Cycle too. It's hard in a city like London that's, it's a very high pressure environment all the time, really. There's a lot of pressures to look a certain way and be a certain way, and we really try to adopt the attitude there of like, leave all that shit at the door. You just be who you are in this room, right? And so it's really nice to come into a space that's already embodying that and encouraging people to just be who they are. And that's really just the way that I live my life. So it's nice to be in a space that encourages that and embraces it.
Absolutely. Which you are really good at that because we see your social media.
Like, what is coming next?
And I just love them, and they just keep going and going. And I often always agree with them. What do you think, Sarah?
With Bangs and social media. Well,
I don't want to call them a rant. What do I say? Like preaching.
I think it's fair to call them rants. Yeah. I'm not offended by that.
But I think besides like this fitness piece of your life, which obviously you're super passionate about and like are incredible at, and you bring that energy and motivation, you have like a message and you have things that you want to share and opinions, and you seem to be like, yeah, you've got a great motivational vibe to you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
And I feel like it's intentional. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, it's obviously a huge element of what I do in work. I'm also a life coach. I have a life coaching business that I do on the side as well. So so a huge part of what I do in that as well. And it's all around my life coaching is based around confidence. So hence why I'm able to send someone an email saying, don't open a studio without me.
It would be a mistake.
Yeah. You should not do this.
It's turned out good, I'd say.
Yeah, but I'm just about being authentic and, you know, finding your way in life and not feeling the need to kind of perform for people, and embracing who you are authentically and being good with that, which I think is, and I talk about it a lot because it is a journey, right, to get there. And especially as women, there's so much pressure on us all the time to be a certain way, look a certain way, act a certain way. And so it's been a journey for me too, to get to this point. I'm in my 40s, and to get to this point in my life, you know, it hasn't always been that. So it's like, I think I'm sharing lessons that I've learned along the way when, you know, I've mentored a lot of younger women. And when I hear, you know, women who are 24, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like going to be 27. And it's like, girl, please shut up. And just like, life's going to be okay. You know?
Everyone's going to get there at some point.
Life's going to be okay. It's going to work out for you. And like, you know, just this, especially the notion of like, oh, 30 is like the big thing as women. We always have a big thing about turning 30, and it's like really not that big a deal at all. Everybody needs to chill out, you know, like, and so I think I'm just, especially as I'm getting older, I'm just kind of embracing like, and I think it's really important as we get older to show you can be older and still be like fly as fuck and living your life and, you know, active and enthusiastic, and not everything crumbles, and you can still be having a good time in life, you know? So I think it's just really important to do that, because you don't see a lot of women embracing the aging process.
Oh my God, 100. I know. I talked to my sister. She may not like this about this last year, because she was upset about
she just turned 30.
She just turned 30.
You probably know her from Spin.
Yeah, Jennifer, and she was like, I feel like I'm going to be 30. She was like crying to me a little bit and was like really sad. She works in the makeup industry, so I feel like there is this weird disconnect, or there's this
added pressure
and like breakdown with aging. And I remember she was talking to me about this, and I like could not even understand what was going on. I was just like, what do you mean you're upset about turning 30? Like, we all do it. It's just like, today you're 29, tomorrow is your birthday, so you just happen to be 30, and then the next day, but like nothing's changed.
Yeah, life's really going to be okay.
Yeah. But there is, I think we have this fixation around appearance and almost like what expectations happen at different milestones.
For sure. For sure. Also for women, obviously there's a huge fertility aspect kind of drawn into that too, of like everything is terrible after you're 30 if you want kids, which also not true. Also, men's fertility goes down after that age too, but we never talk about that. Of course, it's always the women's fault. But I'll try not to go off on a rant about that. But yeah, it's, I think especially the pressure for if someone works in the makeup industry, especially, you know, it's like the pressure to constantly look a certain way. I can't imagine it. And
you're reminded of it. We all are, I think, just on social media in some form. But I feel like in the makeup industry, it's like makeup's trying to make you look younger, or that's what they want you to buy it for sometimes.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting. Like, I think I look better now than I did when I was like
same
in my 20s.
Same. I think I look way better now. As I think the aging process is doing some great things for my face.
Yeah,
I'm really appreciative of it. I feel like I look way better now, and I feel way better now. I'm definitely fitter than I was in my 20s for sure.
Too.
But I feel way better now, and the sense of, I mean, I know people say this a lot, but truly, like, once you hit 40. The amount of fucks you give diminishes significantly. And you just are like, you just embrace it and go with it. Like, I am so unconcerned about the things I was concerned about when I was in my 20s, you know?
Yes. Wait till we're 50.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Like, genuinely, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And I don't meet a lot of women who are, like, because we are conditioned to think that we have to look and act and be a certain way for as long as possible.
Yeah, and grow up.
And I mean, now off the back of the makeup industry, I was having this conversation the other day actually, and this is, you know, probably a little bit controversial, but I have never seen as many women who've clearly had some work done as I have in this city.
Really?
In my life, I've never seen it.
Really?
In my life, I have never seen it.
Wow.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
And it really stands out.
Have you been to LA?
I haven't, no.
Just kidding.
But I would have thought, like, comparatively to London.
To London, especially.
Because it's such a big
But it's
city.
like, I've never seen as many women here who, P.S., young and don't need it, in my view.
Yeah.
Like lip injections.
Lip injections, Botox, fillers, all of that. I mean, do what you want, but it's, I mean, I'm personally quite against it.
Yeah.
Because I think you then become part of this narrative that puts pressure on all women to look a certain way. And it's just an unrealistic thing for us to have to kind of try and keep up, right? So, you know, I feel like one of the few women in the city who's not getting it done. And I'm kind of like, and it's quite obvious to me when I'm around a certain bunch of other women, like, oh, I have lines in my forehead. You don't. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You should, because I'm assuming you've expressed emotions in your life.
Maybe.
And your face should express that, right? Like, I love that I have deep laugh lines. I've laughed a lot in my life.
Yeah.
I've had so much joy in my life. My face is a reflection of that.
Yeah.
I love that about my face. And it honestly, it kind of makes me a bit sad that people want to smooth their faces out that way. And like, what is the problem with your face looking that way? And when other women are getting it done, it indirectly says to me, there's something wrong with my face. That's what women who do that are saying to older women, or women who are not doing it are saying, I don't want to look like that. By any means necessary, I'm not going to look like that. And it's like, okay, cool. I mean, I like my face. And I think it's, you know, I think I'm doing all right with it. But it's like, yeah, it's that's been a really interesting thing for me.
Yeah, to realize.
Like, oh, it's like, it's very, very popular here. And I guess I just didn't expect it, you know, in a smaller city, I would have not really expected that.
I wouldn't expect it.
Maybe we just don't notice. I mean, I get Botox in my forehead. Everyone knows that, but.
Yeah, I don't, I haven't had Botox since before the pandemic, actually. But much of the same thing. I've had lines in my forehead since I was 18 years old. Because
you're expressive.
Because I'm so expressive.
Yeah.
And like.
And you have a great face.
But I kind No, I'm happy with it. I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I'm very satisfied with my face.
Good. You
I
should
am
be.
also satisfied with my face.
Yeah.
No, I think that.
But would you? Okay, so firstly, I hope I didn't cause any offense.
No,
to
no,
what
no,
I
no. I just wanted for transparency.
Yeah.
to-
Would you? So
I'm
what's
so
the
happy
commitment?
the sun's gone now.
What's the commitment level to the Botox? Do you think you'll reach a point where you don't want to get it, or are you locked in for life now?
I feel I haven't decided.
Okay.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be like older when I should be looking older at
Right.
a certain age. Like I would want to not look like I do when I'm 35. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't need to like sustain
Right,
that
gotcha.
long term.
Okay.
It's like an experiment when you hit your 30s.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you.
And I started here. I can't do it right now, but I used to like I work on a computer all day, and I had like that one line. I was like, oh,
Right.
And you're
I look
looking at it.
angry all the time. Actually, yeah, no, I won't say that now. Well, I was told before I had resting bitch face.
Who told you that?
Well, Nicola told me that before.
Another shout out to our studio.
She don't care. I love her, and she don't care. She was like, "You're really nice." For a long time, I thought like you weren't nice. Like you had this like look on your face. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no! You're like I couldn't help it. It was just my face.
no." But it's true. Even like you start to notice as you get older. Yeah, like you start to get these other creases around and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
just
know. I think also I just would be really scared to get it done in case anything went wrong. You know, I'm just
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
like, oh, no,
totally.
I just don't like, so it freaks me out. I am very like, if people want to do it, I'm like, cool, great.
Do the thing that's for you,
I
yeah.
personally just don't understand that because it's just not for
No,
me.
totally.
Yeah.
No, I have the same. Well, and so my mindset is also like I don't think the women on the Real Housewives look good. I think they look like aliens.
Well, I mean, it reaches a point where it's like it's like this constant pursuit of youth.
Yes.
And it reaches a point where it's like you don't look young.
You're
You-
70
You
or
look
whatever,
like
yeah.
But also
you look like a 60-year-old woman who just fucked around with your face a lot. Like, you know?
but like naturally incredibly beautiful otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like probably didn't need half of this stuff done in the first place.
Yeah.
You know? Which and that in turn just makes me really sad for, you know, the state of the world.
I
and
get more
living under
sad
the patriarchy.
for, and you had posted something about like people filtering themselves a lot on social media, and that's something I've even been told. I have a 13-year-old niece. I have several nieces. She's the oldest, and I'm like, you know that what you're seeing. I think that's something we need to like talk about all the time. Is that is not what they look like,
Right.
and or they've had a million procedures that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to look like that. Mm-hmm. And I think people don't realize. I think people think Kim Kardashian looks like that's what she does, but she's done a million things
Yes.
to look that way.
Well, let's talk about Kylie Jenner. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally that is not her face.
No.
Quite literally
And
not
she's
her
like
face.
what, 23?
So young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too much.
And so, yeah, I mean, thank goodness I don't have kids because, like, trying to raise kids in this and, like, explain all of this to them, it's mind bending, you know?
No, it's hard.
Like, I used to think it was bad when I was a kid, of like, you know, we really just had magazines and, you know, I
Yes.
came up in, like, that supermodel era of, like, Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss, like, and that was perfection. And it was mainly, you know, body type, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
Thin, yeah.
I don't know if we really would have been aware of like people having Botox or if that was even a thing back then. I couldn't even tell you, but it was like that was the pressure, but you had to go and buy the magazine. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like it was
Yeah.
a
Wasn't
journey
getting
to get
sent
it.
to
You didn't see it
every
before you ate
day.
your
Yeah.
breakfast.
So you did. I mean, sure, there's billboards, there's advertisements that yes, we absorb and we would see all the time as youngsters, but this is a whole different era where it's just like being bombarded with it all the time. And I can't imagine for a young mind, for a teen mind, to have to try and decipher what I'm seeing isn't the truth, and to try and find a way to be truthful with themselves is like, woof, shout out to parents because I would
Yeah.
not know where to start with that.
No, and it's like it's not even like trying to decipher what the truth is. It's like everything around you is not the truth,
Right.
basically.
Right.
And then so, how do you find your own
And
authenticity?
how does
in
that make you feel as a 12 or 16-year-old boy or girl or
Right.
whatever you identify with? Like, how does that actually make it makes you feel not good about yourself? I feel
Well, you don't naturally look like that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's really hard. I know. I don't know. I don't like when young kids. Sarah and I have this conversation. She knows I'm very passionate.
She's
about it.
very-
When,
I know,
when
but I
young
like that
kids
you're
are on
passionate.
social media. That to me is like the most toxic thing that they. You know what I mean? Because then they're just seeing that.
When they have their own social media
yeah,
accounts.
when they're
Yeah.
like 8 or 7 or 10, whatever.
But and then again, I'm diving into some controversy, but because our age group have kind of adopted social media. I don't think I know a single person who hasn't had a baby and posted the baby online 2 days later.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of anti parents putting their kids on social media too. I think that there's a massive consent issue there that nobody really talks about. You're kind of telling the story of your kid that maybe your kid wants to identify differently from what that story is that you're telling, right? And there has been no consent in that from age 0 to whenever you're allowing them to have 8 years old, when you're allowing them to have an Instagram or whatever it is, right? So it's like, yeah, it
just seems like a huge waste of time, I think.
Also
when you're
that, you know?
when you're that young. Like I grew up in a very small town, and I was in the woods, like, or on my bike.
Oh, I love my bicycle growing up.
yeah, get outside and play and stuff. I don't know. You don't see kids doing that now.
Yeah. Well, we remember always complaining to your parents or your sibling, I'm so bored. Play with me. I'm so bored.
Right.
Does that exist now? I don't know.
We watched a lot of TV, though, still, I would say.
I'd say you don't get the opportunity to be bored now because they've all got
that's
phones
what I
and
mean.
stuff,
You can just
yeah.
pick it up.
Boredom is so good for people.
It's
too.
so important.
It's so good to the creative process.
Yes, absolutely. You've got to be
Or just
bored
like
for a while.
when you're an adult and you're bored, that's great. If you have nothing that's stressing you out or nothing you have to do.
I'd
in that
love to
moment.
have nothing to do. I would love to be bored.
Yeah. There's always something, an errand, a chore.
Yeah, totally.
Something.
Yeah.
No, I also think, though, so here's the other thing. Now this is a new era. So what is normal to them is going to be different from us. And so to some degree, they are better equipped for this than we are. Like, we look at this and are like, they can't handle this. This is wrong. Much like our parents would have looked at us and thought, like, we can't handle video games and all these. Well, I didn't have video games growing up. But, I do think we have to give some credit to the generation that's behind us. Like, they are differently equipped for things.
You're right.
They are, like... And we're trying to understand it, and I think there is that, like,
but there's also a bit of a
overwhelm.
distance there for us. I see what you're saying. Yeah, true.
But there's both sides of it. So I do try to give them some credit in that they will grow up with a different set of circumstances, different set of abilities, and a different ability to filter things that for us was never ingrained in us from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So that I don't think. The only reason I bring this up is I don't think all is lost, is what I'm saying.
I appreciate this message of hope.
Yeah.
I do.
We hear you, Sarah.
It's needed.
But I think, like, generationally, you always have that where the generation
There's
ahead
no,
is
you're right.
worried
There's
about the
always
change.
something.
And it's just, now we're just in, like, hyper speed of technology.
Yeah. I do also think that the pendulum has to swing really extremely one way in order to find a bit more of a center middle ground, right? So I think we're in the, like, really harsh pendulum swing right now. And this generation coming up behind us is going to be the one to self-correct, I think, and find that place that sits well.
And I think we'll learn from them ultimately, like, how they adjust. And even in my own personal use, like, I find just whatever's happening in the world right now, I'm actually engaging with social media a lot less than I used to, like, significantly less.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think I'm alone in that right now. Like, I know a lot of people who are just spending less time. I would say my time is not consistent. It's not like an everyday engagement sort of thing.
Right.
Like, where I take significant breaks of, like, weeks from really being like present.
Oh, I wish I could do that. I'm not there yet.
No, but yeah. But I think it's the result, the reaction to that pendulum.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I've noticed on my Instagram recently, it seems like the majority of the content when I open it up is people who I don't even follow. You know, it's like just like suggested.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know why. Hi, algorithm, but I don't know why you would think I would like this. Like, you know, it's just like, okay.
I know.
So I get frustrated with it. I'll open it up and be like, okay, if the first 3 posts are like, we thought you'd like that, you don't know me, Instagram. Stop it. You thought I'd like it, really? I don't.
Yeah.
Turning you off.
Is it the ocean in Nova Scotia?
I know. I unfollow people. I unfollow people.
That's
or
a
I
good
hide
thing.
them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm following and hiding. Yeah, that's a good tool to use.
Yeah, but it is hard. Well, we have the podcast and then obviously our personal Instagrams and work and things like that. So you are kind of always just trying to stay tapped in because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm seeing.
We'll figure it out.
I will say I'm seeing more creators, coaches, things like that. That just like that's not. They have a platform. They have like one message posted, and they're like, "This is not where you access me,
right?
And access my resources,
right?
If you want to reach me, it's like through the website, through a text, through email." I'm seeing a lot more of that with like some bigger creators that I really enjoy following.
Yeah.
And connecting with, but I follow them through podcasts or things like that. Like they just aren't present. That's not their channel anymore.
Well, I think that's, you know, from a business perspective, there's not much point in hosting the majority of your content on a platform that's not yours. You have no ownership of it. If Instagram went away tomorrow, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you've built this hundreds of thousands of people as a following, and that's your only method of getting in contact with them, like, that's a big flaw in your game plan, I would say, you know?
Yeah, you need a bit
So
more
you need some kind of other presence. But I think it just makes sense really to be driving that audience somewhere else.
And you can always go further. There's a few like bloggers who are in fashion, and I go to their websites and I enjoy it because you can like scroll. There's more it's just easier to kind of consume everything that they're doing. And then I don't know.
I started out as a blogger back in like 2007. And I really missed those early days of blogging.
Do you?
Yeah, it was so great. You know, it was like it was a real camaraderie. There was a real network. You all would check each other's blogs every day, and everyone would comment on everyone's thing and help build each other up. And it was like those early days of blogging were great. But I really gave it a good go. And I would say, I mean, I really only officially closed my blog down last year or 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. But probably was really still trying to make a go of it into like 2014, 2015. And then off the back of that, I got became the fitness editor at Elle magazine in the UK, and then I got a book deal, and so it kind of like it served its purpose. So I was like, that's kind of where I wanted to go with it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, oh, I don't know, it's a lot of upkeep. And
What was your blog about?
anything and everything. And that was part of the thing, is that I never really found a like, this is what it's going to be about. I think it kind of started out as like just general ramblings. Then it went into like fashion a bit more. And then as I got into fitness, I started a whole separate one for like fitness related stuff, but ended up talking about fitness still a lot on my own personal one. And then that landed me the L gig. And it just was kind of general thoughts.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah. And it's nice to be able to explore all those different pieces. And it seems like through your messaging, like the big thing is confidence. And even with your book, we didn't even talk about your book, The Pocket Cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So I got approached by an book agent in London, like years ago, and was like, we think you should write a book. And I was like, people were telling me that all the time, and I was like, I don't know about what, you know. Like I just was not really convinced at the time that I had that in me. And I mean, obviously I was talking about fitness a lot, and so that just made sense. And so he was like, okay, go and put together a book proposal. I had no idea how long that would take. First of all, putting it together a book proposal is like such a process. So that took about, oh my God, it's like 20,000 words to put together a book proposal.
Wow.
And it took me about a year to like properly hone and refine that. And then the agent was like touting it around to various publishing houses. Nobody picked it up. And eventually he said, I think we've kind of run out of road here. And I was like, sir, no, because I've put so much work into this. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just do it myself. It's fine. And I think that comes from that blogging background of like, you know, I initially got into blogging because I really wanted to work in magazines. I was a real magazine junkie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that was my dream. Could not get hired. And so I was like, fine, I'll just start my own. So I started a blog and just did that. And so when I got a lot of no's about the book, I was like, all right, cool, it's fine. I've been here before. I'll just do it myself. And I kind of... funnily enough, one of my rants paid off again. I posted on Instagram that, you know, I've had all these meetings with these publishing houses, and I put so much work into this thing, and I know that this story that I'm trying to tell matters. And the reason I was getting turned down was because my social media following wasn't big enough. It came up in every meeting.
Really?
It came up in every meeting, right? Of like, what are you going to do to promote your book? And I was like, what are you going to do? You're like the publishing house. You don't have a promotions team? Like obviously I'm going to talk about my own book, but I don't think like the vast majority of the promotion should be on me. So it was a really frustrating conversation to be having. And I posted about it, and irony of all ironies, that was probably my most engaged with post ever. Had like 1 million comments, not literally. Had a lot of comments from people saying like, do it yourself and we'll buy it. Like, do it yourself and we'll buy it. So I was like, all right, cool. And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but okay.
But I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. And off the back of that, somebody messaged me and said, email this guy. He works for this publishers that's kind of like a it crowdfunds, basically. Right. So I emailed him on like a Friday and said, here's the deal, here's my story. I'd really appreciate it if you would read my proposal and just give me an honest opinion of where you think it is. And or I think I emailed him on a Sunday morning thinking it'll be the first thing that he reads on Monday when he gets into the office. He messaged me back Sunday midday and was like, yeah, we're going to publish this. And I was like, oh damn,
gosh.
okay. So then we started the crowdfunding process, and which was another lesson in and of itself, just how much it costs to produce a book. So I think my book, which I was, you go through this process with the publisher of like, how do you want your book to look? And obviously every aspect of it has a certain cost. So, if you like a big photographic coffee table book, upwards of £30,000 probably to produce that. Don't know what that is in dollars, sorry.
I also UK don't money. Know.
Lots of dollars.
Lots of dollars.
And so as we were going through the process with my book, I was like, just black and white, no pictures, print it on toilet paper. I'll staple it together myself. I don't care. Just like, let's do it. But even that, it's very bare bones. It's not a long book. It's not like I wrote War and Peace, Yeah. But even that was like, I think I had to crowdfund about £13,000.
Wow.
And which I managed to do in 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
And then that writing it is a whole process. That's another year to write it and edit it and have all the graphics
I've never
and everything
really
done.
heard this process. It's so interesting.
It's long. It's so long, And it's frustrating because people would be like, they'd donate to your crowdfunding and be like, when do I get the book? And I'd be like, in like a year and a half. Just like, it'll come out eventually. So it was a process, but I'm glad I did it. And so now the pocket cheerleader lives.
The pocket cheerleader.
Love that.
But I think it's great. I feel like through your social media, through the rants, like you're very much around confidence and boosting women's confidence or our own confidence in each other, and ourselves.
Well, and I'm also just, it's called the pocket cheerleader because that's how I see myself for other people. And I love being that for people. I love uplifting people and cheering them on. That's really what my classes are all about when you come and ride with me. And I hope, my whole thing is like passing that energy on so that it lives with other people. Like I say at the end of every class, smile at strangers, spread good vibes, be nice to people. And I'm such a big believer in like just being a good vibe. And when you share that with someone else, when your energy is that, it makes someone else feel good and that becomes their energy. And then that makes someone else feel good and that becomes their energy. And that's how you change the world, right? Which I know sounds very like woo-woo. But I'm a really strong believer in that. Like I'm not like a big politician. I can't like make changes on grander scales like that. But can I change the way someone feels about themselves today and make them feel a little better? Maybe give them a bit more of a spring in their step. Yeah, I can do that. And is that going to help them to share that energy with someone else and maybe make someone else feel better? Yeah, I can do that. So you just start where you're at with what you have and do that, right? And that's kind of the way I view life.
I feel like for me, it's trying to recruit people to your classes all the time because I want them to experience that. I'm like, you need to come. You'll just have the best time.
The high vibes.
Yeah, you'll get the vibes. We'll all get the vibes. Yeah. Love that so much. Before we play our game, Bangs, what are you excited about right now? Or what's lighting you up?
What is lighting me up? I am hoping to go on a vacation back to London in October. That's lighting me up a lot.
That's amazing.
Because when I left, we were on a really, really strict lockdown in London. So like literally we're not allowed to leave our houses. And so I didn't get to see any of my friends before I left. I didn't get to say bye to anyone. And it was all quite sad. And I just really miss my people a lot. That's the hardest part of moving. So I'm really, really excited to be able to get to see my friends and like have some proper time with them that I didn't get to have before I left, because it kind of felt like I was just kind of left under a cover of darkness,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. I'm really excited about everything I'm doing with Art Studios. I'm really excited about my coaching. I'm just generally excited about life, to be honest with you.
The ocean.
Very excited about the ocean, very excited about my dog, very excited about I went to Lunenburg on Friday. So excited about that. Like just
Next, she's going to Wolfville.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Stay
good
tuned.
stuff happening.
so many good things happening, you know, like I just, not to be super corny, but I'm just like, I feel super lucky to like be here and living the life that I want for myself. So, you know, I know there's a lot of people who are really struggling to find that way and find something that sits right with them. And I've been that person who's been in a shitty job that I hate and wishing for something else. And so I'm really proud of myself that I've built this life for myself that I love and that I'm excited about every day. But mainly now that I'm here, I feel really freaking grateful that I just get to live it every day. So I know I'm calling the answer, but I'm really excited about life in general.
That's
we love
beautiful.
that. That's great.
I know. That's a nice feeling, and we're happy that's where you are. Where can people connect with you online, Bangs?
Well, probably Instagram at Bangs in a Bun. And I also do a newsletter for women over 35 called The Murmuration. So if
Sarah
you,
doesn't qualify yet. She's just
Oh,
a baby.
sorry. You're a young one.
I'm still 33.
Oh, you're a young one. Well, a couple years, you'll get in. Yeah,
I'll be 34 in July.
Okay, I'll recruit you into the club now. I'll let you sign up. Yeah. So yeah, just there. Probably if you just like look
I
up
like
the
that we're
Murmuration.
ending on this note. Please let me be old enough to get
Please
in.
come and join
Sarah
the
has
over
an old
35.
soul. She has an old soul.
Yeah, so that's where, kind of as we were talking about earlier, I tend to host a lot of like, there's stuff that I'll talk about on there that I just won't really talk about on Instagram, a bit more in-depth kind of conversations for women over 35. We talk about exciting things like the perimenopause and things. Joyous times.
I feel like I'm having menopause right now.
Right, with this heat.
I'm
Yeah,
so
I mean,
hot.
it is hot in here, yeah.
Hot.
So yeah, probably Bangs in a Bun
in a
or
Bun.
The Murmuration, or just come and ride with me at Rival.
Yeah.
And you can find her at our studios. So we love that. All right. We're going to play a round of Queenie Grams. It's our fun made-up game.
Okay.
You're going to love it.
Okay.
All I need you to do is pick a number between 1 and 146. And I'm going to ask you a question.
87.
87. Ooh.
My birth year.
Oh,
A magical
80s
time.
babies.
Okay. What personality trait drives you crazy?
So many. Are there so many going through your mind?
It's many.
I thought
to
about this
pick
the
from.
other day.
Laziness.
Oh.
I'm gonna say laziness. Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Or like just kind of being defeatist. Like
Negative.
negative. Debbie Downers, you know? Like that'll never work out for me. I can't do that. But actually you're just not trying. You know? So I feel like I kind of class it as like laziness.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that 100%.
defeatist,
But I
yeah.
thought about this the other day. When people talk about themselves too much,
Oh.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm like, okay,
Enough.
we get it. Yeah, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that rude?
Or ask me a question. Actually, no, I had that
Yeah.
experience the other day. Yeah.
Oh, when someone doesn't ask you any questions.
they just
yourself.
talk about
Oh my
themselves.
god,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, that's really frustrating.
I actually ran out of I ran out of conversation with someone yesterday. I was like, this would be so much easier if you would ask me literally any question.
Right.
Like you could just say and you and like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's so funny. I think
What about you?
the defeatist thing. I think
Yeah.
like negativity or I just don't enjoy what I like when people create things. That's like the thing.
Negativity, it's such a hard energy to be around.
Yeah.
I really struggle like to be
People that
around
complain.
complain all the time or are just super negative. I'm kind of like, all right, man, deuces, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I cannot be around it. I find it really like it's like a wet blanket just over everything.
And
like,
you don't want to waste your energy especially if you've already had to try and help this person or people
right.
on doing like what is it, falling on deaf ears? Is that what they call it?
Yes. Great line.
I'm
Wrap us
very
up,
big,
baby.
very big on like protecting your energy as well, right? I think that's a huge
Yeah.
thing, and especially like in the type of industry I work in, it's my job to make other people feel better. So if I'm around someone who is just constantly negative about
that.
everything, that's like sucking my energy and like killing my own vibe, and I'm like, I literally can't do that.
We're
I
not
can't be
about
around
that.
it.
We
No.
are not about that. We are bringing the
about
good
those
vibes
high
on
vibes.
Thursday. And Bangs, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's
coming.
such a treat to be invited. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Oh, we love having you here.